Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. And today I come to you from Pitt Street heading north down to Sydney Harbour and Circular Quay. And as you can see, I'm standing in the bike lane here. I'm just in front of Australia Square, and it's a very, very quiet morning, quiet start to the day. It's Sunday, it's the 1st of the month, the 1st of November, so Kalo Mina, happy 1st of the month to all my friends and family, wishing you all the very best. And today I'm going to go on a journey and have a bit of a chat about a book summary that I've just read. And the book is entitled The Happiness Equation by John Leyland, and it's a study of aging and growing old, and just a few of the philosophies or the things that capture our attention, because we're all on the path, the aging path. And it's quite interesting just to hear some of the good findings from this beautiful book. And it's basically, talks about aging, as I said before, growing old, and hopefully most of us will have the opportunity to grow old and to enjoy the later years of our lives. And one of the messages which comes out of this book, a strong message, is that we humans are very resilient, and everybody has a story in their lives, and everybody tends to have a lot of drama in their lives, a lot of happy years, a lot of happy times, but also times of challenge. So that's just the normal part of living. And what the author talks about in his book is that once you get to a certain age, then you get to a point where you start to become very selective about your memory and your memories, the things that you remember. And it's basically a survival mode to enable you to function properly, because as we said, we've all got some good times in our lives, happy times, and there's also coupled with challenges. So as we get older, we become wiser, and we learn to become selective with the things that we remember. We try and switch off the bad thoughts, the bad memories, and then spend our time just remembering and enjoying those good memories that we have in our lives. The other very important lesson to come out of the book is that as you get to a certain age, as you get into your 70s, you do tend to learn you get to learn to live in the moment, in the now, because you know that your future is limited, and that you don't need to worry about your tomorrow, because you need to focus and make the most of your today. So that's a real powerful lesson. And the other thing he talks about in the book is that your values change. The things that were valuable, the things that were important to you as a 20, 30, 40, 50-year-old, as you get older, they change, they morph, they're shaped, and most interestingly of all, and I love this, is you become less and less interested in superficial contact. How awesome is that? When you're young, you do get caught up in things which you only realise when you're older, that it's a superficial lifestyle. Remembering that that when we're young, we just want to be with people and we accept things, but it's only when you're older that you realise that a lot of those things are superficial. There's no depth to it. There's no continuous sort of benefit to it. So as I said before, you get to become very selective with what you focus on and what you want in your life, and you have less time for the stuff that is superficial. And he also mentions in the book something very, very important, something very, very grounding for me, is that you become more altruistic and you begin to accept more things in your life, because you realise that there are things out there, there are problems out there, there are challenges that you're just never going to solve. So you just don't bother anymore worrying about it, because you've learned with time to accept certain things will never change. And the good thing is that you spend less time wasting your time worrying about things that are never going to change, or at least they're not going to change in your lifetime. Even though when we're young, we're idealists and we think that we can change the world and we can make things happen based on our commands. There are some things, there are some people that ain't going to change, and they're just not going to accept us, and they're just not going to be an important part of our lives. Anyway, look where I am now. I've made it all the way down to the Harbour Bridge, down at Circular Quay. And with ageing, we also learn to temper and moderate our expectations. When you're young, we expect the world, we expect many things, but the beauty of aging, the beauty of getting older, is that you learn to accept things, you learn to have fewer expectations, and you learn to enjoy whatever comes your way, because it is a gift of God, no doubt, and something which you just need to appreciate and to express your gratitude. The sad thing for me from reading this book is that most people, once you get to the age of 85, chances are that you'll be living alone. There are very, very few people that get to a certain age and are still married, are still living with their partners, are still engaged with their families. I guess one of the beauties of my Greek cultural background is that when I was growing up, I grew up with 3 generations in my life. I grew up with my grandparents, my parents, and my generation. So I've always lived in and circulated with people of 2 generations above me. But sadly, that sort of lifestyle, that sort of expectation of families to be united and to live together is not necessarily something which is highly valued in today's society. People expect their independence and are not as welcoming of grandparents and people of older generations. The other good points that came out of the book is that marriage ensures that you live longer. If you're married, chances are that you're going to live longer, because companionship is great for the human spirit and for your well-being. Married men live longer, so if you're a man and you're married, chances are that you'll live longer than men who are not married. And most importantly, this is really, really interesting, a widowed woman will tend to live longer, much longer than a married woman, because they get to do the things that they've been putting off whilst they were married, so they keep on going. Whereas a widowed man tends to die fairly quickly. So there you go. The other point that came out of the book is that in order to be married and to stay together, you need to have a lot in common. So, culturally, religiously, personally, your relationships need to be very, very good in order to stay together and to be married for a lifetime. It's a big call. It's a big call to get married and to stay with your partner for a lifetime. But there are some benefits. There are some big benefits of living a good married life, because as we said, you tend to live longer and you tend to have a greater purpose, according to this book. The other thing that they talk about here is the importance, when you get older, of having gratitude and being thankful for all the things you have and all the things that you can enjoy. And we'll finish up here. They talk about the importance of having purpose, and there's a little thing here that they talk about living the butterfly life. And that's living second by second, enjoying every single moment, going from flower to flower, and just existing and enjoying each second, knowing that every second that you can enjoy will mean that you'll live more and more seconds, and there are more seconds for you to look forward to in terms of enjoying. So I like that little analogy, that little metaphor about living like a butterfly, floating and going from flower to flower, and then just enjoying every single moment that you have available to you. Anyway, thank you very much once again for joining me on Jim's 5am Club on this Saturday morning. It's early, it's quiet, and it's a beautiful start to the day. Let's finish up with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant. And for all of us, let's take a page out of the book, The Happiness Equation, and to live the best life that we can, to live as long as we can, to be healthy, to stay in our relationships for as long as we can, to ensure that we have companionship and purpose in our lives, and to have family and friends to surround us, so that we live a full life which is healthy, fulfilled, and we make the most of our time together whilst we have it. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me once again on Jim's 5am Club. Tomorrow I look forward to coming to you from another location. Don't know where I'll be, but with another message of empowerment to help us get through this day and make the most of every opportunity that we have. So take care, Yassas from Jim's 5am Club. Kia tapume. Even though it's a grey all day, we'll make the most of it. Yassas and bye for now.